What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. Okay. Now, tomorrow, after today's ceremony, there will be an official announcement as to who will be inducted into the 2021 Naismith Memorial Hall of Fame class, scheduled to be enshrined this September. Remember, the class being enshrined today would have been enshrined last September, but because of the ongoing pandemic, that was not possible. But sources are telling ESPN's The Undefeated that Ben Wallace will be enshrined in the Hall of Fame. He will be enshrined in the Hall of Fame. And let me give him a round of applause. And I'm gonna tell you why I'm giving him a round of applause. First of all, he's from here. I didn't seen Ben Wallace. I've actually semi met him before. Okay. Um, and he will become he's a good dude. He cares about his community. And he will become the first undrafted player in the history of the NBA and possibly, I have to think about it, but possibly in American pro sports. And someone could correct me if I'm wrong, but he's the first, I know definitely the first NBA player undrafted to make it into the Hall of Fame. And see, this is a guy, you may wonder why we could be so critical of someone like Dwight Howard, but so appreciative of someone like Ben Wallace. And I'll tell you why, because Ben Wallace is the anti Dwight. He got the most out of, now that I think about it, I credited Kobe, but no, Dwight. Dwight Howard, excuse me, Ben Wallace, he got the most out of his opportunity. He was not drafted. If I recall correctly, he was a walk on. He was a walk on with the Washington Wizards. He tried out for them. And he made the team. I think they signed him to like a 10-day contract or something. And the rest was history. I think that he got either waived or traded to Orlando. He played very well under Doc Rivers, that 99 team that I think made it to the playoffs, and Doc Rivers won Coach of the Year. He floated around a little bit, but he made a niche for himself, and he came into the NBA at the right time, because if he came into the NBA now, he wouldn't have worked, because everybody, wants a stretch guy. This was a time in the NBA where it was a truly defensive league, and a guy like Ben Wallace had value. No, he wasn't a great scorer, but this is a guy that was a tremendous defensive player. At one stretch, he was the dominant defensive player in the NBA. Okay, and I mean the dominant. And I believe he won 4 Defensive Player of the Year awards. Let me make sure. Let me look at his accolades. Let me read the article first. Former Detroit Pistons star center Ben Wallace will be inducted into the class of 2021 for the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame, a source told ESPN's The Undefeated on Saturday. Wallace and the entire 2021 class will be announced on Sunday at the museum in Springfield, Massachusetts. Wallace was best known for his defense, as he was a 4-time, okay, I had that right, NBA Defensive Player of the Year winner. And some people think that the year that they gave it to Ron Artest, later to be known as Metta World Peace, Ben should have won it again. A lot of people think that. All right. The former HBCU Virginia Union star won an NBA championship with the Pistons in 2004 and also was a 4-time NBA All Star. He has his number 3 jersey retired with the Pistons. Wallace began his college basketball career at Cuyahoga Community College, Ohio, before transferring to Virginia Union, where he was a first-team Division II All-American in 1996. After going undrafted by the NBA in 1996, he played for the Washington Bullets, later to be known as the Wizards, and the Orlando Magic before becoming a star with the Pistons. The Pistons' all-time leader in blocks also played for the Chicago Bulls and Cleveland Cavaliers. Wallace is currently a co-owner of the G League Grand Rapids Drive and has coaching aspirations. So this is a guy that willed himself to becoming something in the NBA. And he found a role, a niche for himself in the NBA as a great defensive player, great shot blocker, and he was also a great team leader. And he didn't take any fucking shit from anybody. Anybody. You know what I'm saying? And when he got to Detroit, he was the one who you could argue was the leader. They always said that team didn't really have a leader, or a superstar per se. But Ben Wallace changed the culture of that team. They became a defensive team. Before he was there, they were Jerry Stackhouse mediocre team. You know, then they, for a while, they were known as a team that had some scorers on there. But Ben Wallace got there and had everybody fucking playing defense. Rip Hamilton, looked brilliant running through those screens and being a guy that was, running around like a chicken with his head cut off, a la Reggie Miller. You know what I'm saying? The master of the master of the mid range, Rip Hamilton. The importance of that shot being dictated to him by Michael Jordan when he played briefly with him in Washington. Rasheed Wallace with that flick of the wrist turnaround, a jumper that he had in the paint. And, Rasheed Wallace, just a devastating force in crunch time for the Pistons. Tayshaun Prince, who was not particularly noted for his defense, becoming one of the league's best perimeter defenders in the NBA. And Ben Wallace was the anchor of that team. And they won a championship in 2004, upsetting the Los Angeles Lakers, and came perilously close, agonizingly close to repeating in 2005 in a scintillating 7-game series against the San Antonio Spurs. I love that goddamn series. Fuck the casuals. God damn it. Give me a fucking 81-77 battle. Fuck all this 3-point happy bullshit. You know what I'm saying? The guys like Ben Wallace and the Dennis Robbins and the Dan Roundfelds, Charles Oakleys, the Xavier McDaniels. Give me those guys. Give me the Davis boys. Give me the enforcers. They were what once the NBA you had to have on your team. You know what I'm saying? You had to have an enforcer on your team in the NBA, a tough guy to make it. You had to have the Bill Lambiers and the John Sallies. You had to have the Rick Mahorns. You know what I'm saying? You had to have these guys. You had to have the Maurice Lucases. Nobody wanted to fuck with Maurice Lucas back in the 70s and early 80s. And nobody wanted to fuck with Big Ben. You know what I'm saying? Uh, Ron Artest, no. And Ron Artest was as tough as anybody. So I salute Ben Wallace, who played basketball the right way and got the most out of his talents. And, a bull of a basketball player and an alpha male and didn't take shit from anybody. Some of the stories I've heard about him, man, it just brings a smile to my face knowing some of the shit that he, you know, some of the shit he did behind the scenes with some of these players, you know what I'm saying, who ran off at the mouth and shit in games. Back then, you wouldn't have had a Draymond Green running his mouth because trust me and believe, the Ben Wallaces and the Maurice Lucases and damn sure that the oak trees would have put him in his place. Charles Barkley's even. They would have put his ass in his place very, very quickly. You know what I'm saying? So salute to Ben Wallace. Tell me what you guys think. Let me add this too. Um, let me add this before I go. I know they usually like to only put in maximum 3 NBA players per class. I'm certain that Paul Pierce is going to be inducted along with Ben Wallace. They've got to put in Chris Webber. Okay, it's becoming insulting that Chris Webber hasn't been inducted yet. If they put in Tim Hardaway, and he's a fine player, don't get me wrong. Tim Hardaway is a borderline Hall of Famer to me. But if you put in Tim Hardaway, who pretty much has been kept out because of the slur he made on a radio program back in 2007 or 2008. But if you put him in, but you don't put in Chris Webber for something that he supposedly did 30 years ago, almost 30 years ago, okay, now it's beginning to look petty and suspicious. And it's becoming insulting. Okay, Chris Webber should have been inducted in the Hall of Fame over a decade ago. You know how many years have gone by where people are, you know, congratulating Chris Webber, and it comes to fruition that he didn't get selected. At this point, it's getting ridiculous. Chris Webber needs to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Okay, and if they don't, I'm gonna write the NBA and the Naismith Memorial. Whoever I got to fucking contact, I'm gonna have to write them or talk to people my fucking self. Okay, why is Chris Webber not in the Hall? If I find out that he's not on that finalist list, I'm going to contact them myself. Believe you me. I'm going to contact them, and I'm going to do everything I can to get Chris Webber inducted into the Hall of Fame. But tell me what you guys think.